Celebrating a truly magnificent animal, the horse. What an absolute beauty. When you look into the eyes of a horse, you see a spirit that's been tied to this land for a very, very long time. And say a big thank you to these incredible creatures. They've helped shape the very soul of America, from the dusty plains to the bustling cities. This isn't just about an animal, it's about a partnership, a bond that has lasted through centuries of change and challenge. Now hold on a minute, because this story has a ripper of a twist. Way back, thousands and thousands of years ago, a little fella called the Eohippus, the dawn horse, roamed this very continent. Imagine that. Tiny dog-sized horses galloping about right here in North America. They were the original pioneers. But then something happened. The climate changed, the land shifted, and about 10,000 years ago, these native horses vanished from the landscape. It was a sad time, a real quiet moment in the great wild story of this place. The thundering hooves went silent, but their spirit was just waiting for a comeback. Then, in the late 1400s, everything changed. Spanish explorers sailing across the massive blue ocean brought their horses with them. These weren't the tiny dawn horses. These were strong, powerful steeds from Europe. Some of these animals escaped or were traded, and before you knew it, they were running free. They found a land that was perfect for them, full of grass and wide open spaces. They formed wild herds, spreading like a beautiful galloping wildfire across the continent. The horse had returned to its ancestral home, and it was ready to make its mark all over again. What a comeback story. This reintroduction was more than just bringing an animal back. It was like turning on a light in a dark room. The land itself seemed to wake up. These new herds of Mustangs, tough and resilient, became a symbol of freedom and untamed spirit. They were a living, breathing part of the American wilderness once more. Their return set the stage for some of the most exciting chapters in the continent's history. It was the beginning of a brand new adventure, not just for the horses, but for the people who would soon share the land with them. For the Native American tribes of the Great Plains, the return of the horse was a world-changing event. Before these four-legged legends arrived, life was tough, dependent on the slow pace of walking. But when tribes like the Comanche and the Blackfoot first saw these magnificent animals, they saw a new future. They didn't just see a beast of burden. They saw a partner, a friend, and a powerful ally. Learning to ride these creatures took incredible skill and bravery, but they mastered it, becoming some of the most brilliant horsemen the world has ever seen. It was a true connection, man and animal working as one. The horse completely transformed their way of life. Suddenly, hunting the mighty bison became faster, safer, and much more successful. A hunter on foot might struggle, but a warrior on horseback could keep up with a thundering herd, providing more food and resources for their entire village. It changed everything. From the clothes they wore to the homes they built, the horse made them mobile, allowing them to travel great distances, trade with other tribes, and defend their territories with incredible speed and strength. The horse wasn't just a tool, it became the very heart of their culture and their power. Look at the Comanche, for example. They became known as the Lords of the Plains, and it was all because of their mastery of the horse. That they were so skilled that they could ride into battle, leaning far over the side of their horse, using its body as a shield while firing arrows with deadly accuracy. Their wealth was measured in horses, and their entire society was built around these amazing animals. The bond was so deep that a warrior's favorite horse was often considered a member of the family, a sacred companion that would journey with them even into the afterlife. What a testament to their bond. This new horse culture spread like wildfire across the plains. For tribes like the Blackfoot, the horse allowed them to expand their territory and become formidable traders and warriors. They developed special ceremonies and songs to honor their horses, recognizing the divine spirit within these creatures. The horse gave them freedom, power, and a new sense of identity. It allowed them to thrive in the vast, challenging environment of the American West. The return of the horse wasn't just a historical event. For these tribes, it was the dawn of a golden age, a time of incredible prosperity and cultural richness. As America pushed westward in the 1800s, another legendary figure galloped into the history books, the cowboy. And what's a cowboy without his trusty horse? Absolutely nothing, mate. The great cattle drives stretching for hundreds of miles from Texas to Kansas would have been impossible without them. A cowboy's horse was his partner in the truest sense. It had to be smart enough to cut a single cow from a massive herd, tough enough to cross raging rivers, and brave enough to stand its ground against predators. This wasn't just a job. It was a daily dance of trust and skill between rider and horse. Life on the ranch was built entirely around the horse, from sunup to sundown. These animals were essential for every task. They helped mend fences across vast properties, rounded up stray cattle from rugged country, and were the only way to get to the nearest town for supplies. The quarter horse, with its explosive speed over short distances, became the cowboy's favorite. It was a partnership forged in dust, sweat, and endless miles of open range. The horse was the engine of the American West, the hard-working hero behind the romantic image of the cowboy. They were the unsung champions of the frontier, but it wasn't all hard work. Americans have always loved a bit of fun and competition, and horse racing became a massive passion. From fancy tracks in the east to dusty impromptu races in western towns, the thrill of seeing these powerful animals thunder towards a finish line captured the nation's heart. Legends like Man o' War and Seabiscuit became household names, symbols of hope and incredible athletic ability. Racing wasn't just a sport, it was an event that brought people from all walks of life together, cheering for their favorite horse and celebrating its raw power and beauty. This era, the 1800s, was truly the age of the horse in America. They were everywhere, pulling everything from fire engines in the big cities to plows on the small farms. They were the backbone of transportation, agriculture and industry. The sound of their hooves on cobblestone streets was the rhythm of daily life. The horse was so woven into the fabric of the country that it's hard to imagine how America could have grown and prospered without them. They were the muscle, the speed, and the spirit that built a nation. What absolute legends! But then, a new sound began to echo across the land, the roar of the engine. After World War I, things started to change, and fast. Tractors began to replace the plough horse on the farm, and cars and trucks took over the roads. The machine age had arrived, and suddenly the horse was no longer the king of transportation and labour. For a while, it looked like our horsey mates might fade into the background. Their numbers, which were once in the tens of millions, began to drop as the world modernized. It was a quiet, sad decline for an animal that had given so much. But you can't keep a good animal down. The story of the horse in America didn't end there. Today, there are over 7 million horses in the United States. That's a beautiful thing to see. They might not be pulling our fire engines anymore, but their role in our lives is as important as ever. They are our partners in sport, our companions in recreation, and a vital part of our culture. From thrilling rodeo events and elegant dressage competitions to quiet trail rides through stunning national parks, horses still give us a connection to the wild and to ourselves. They are still hard workers too. On ranches out west, horses are still the best way to manage cattle in rough country where a truck just can't go. They are used in law enforcement as mounted patrols, giving officers a unique advantage in crowds and parks. And let's not forget the incredible world of equine therapy, where the gentle nature of these animals helps people heal in body and spirit. They are still serving us, still helping us, and still teaching us about patience, trust, and strength. Their job description has changed, but their importance hasn't faded one bit. Let's remember their incredible journey through time and honor the massive role they've played in building this country. But most importantly, let's commit to protecting them and the wide open spaces they need to thrive. When we protect our horses, we protect a piece of our own history and soul. They are living legends, and it's our job to make sure their story continues for generations to come.